Why is it so lonely? I've asked myself this so many times. I've got people physically around me. Well, if there was something, a secret that you couldn't tell, but you were so desperate to talk to someone about it because it was just eating you up inside. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many people there is around you, you will still be lonely until there's at least one person that truly understands your frustration and your issue. Just the same as having an illness that you have and everyone else around you know not a single thing about it or has it, let alone understands it. You don't wish to speak to your loved ones in fear of burdening them. You don't want to speak to strangers in fear of embarrassment. I mean, come on, some of these symptoms they're pretty dire. They're pretty embarrassing. Some things we are made to suffer with can be quite personal. Sometimes I sit and imagine what it would be like to talk to someone in the same position as me. A single mum who lives on her own, who's in full-time employment, doesn't drive, has to use public transport to get anywhere. At my age, with fibromyalgia, chronic pain, disorder, and chronic fatigue, I thought, hey, let's look for someone in the same situation as me. I mean, there's all these social media websites and Facebook pages, and it must be pretty easy. It's got to be easy to find somebody else in my situation. And no, it wasn't. So I signed up to all of these social media sites. It was easy to find and engage with other sufferers, of course. I found many older people who had suffered for years and years, who've had their grandchildren, their children, they've got married, some are retired. Many people have got fibromyalgia through other illnesses and disabilities that they've incurred during their life, unfortunately. I've always been physically active with my daughter. I used to go running every day. We was out walking all the time, visiting family, hours on public transport, traveling everywhere. There was no limits. We didn't stop. Then suddenly, I was hit with my invisible illness. And my whole world changed. But it wasn't just mine. It was ours. That's just thoughts in my head that at the time of writing my book, it meant something. It was how I felt all those years ago. But I am 7 years on now with fibro, and I still feel the same. My partner is so supportive, and my daughter is very understanding of everything that I own, basically. But still, even after all these years of them seeing me, I still feel alone. I can't go into those tiny little details that I would love to sit with someone and go, oh my God. I do love engaging with other sufferers, but those other sufferers will deal with fibromyalgia and every other invisible illness in their own way. It will affect them in their own way, not mine. And it's the same for everybody else. So when we deal with other sufferers, whether we are engaging through social media as friends, as chat buddies, support buddies, coaching, anything, to loved ones, to people who are falling across this and they're seeing a loved one go through this. This is a really important thing to remember, that it doesn't matter how much support you give to someone, there will still be that element of loneliness. These illnesses are very unique to the individual, which makes it really, really hard to accept and deal with on a personal level.